Um, and let's just put it in perspective. How many people die a day from obesity? Because the U.S. government subsidizes obesity. 2.8 million people die each year as a result of being obese. That stat's from 2016, so it's probably getting worse because everyone's getting fatter and fatter, including the kids. But let me see. 2.8 million. Let me see if I can do this on my calculator. 2800,000. That's right. Divided by 365. That is 7,700 people a day, about. 7,700 people a day die from obesity. And are we locking down the world because of people dying from obesity? Why not? Why aren't we? It's a way bigger killer and it's very preventable. The US government subsidizes fat asses, something I've been talking about since I was in high school. And literally, because that's when I started to study health and nutrition, and that's when I read about how the government subsidized corn and sugar more than any other food, and the majority of that corn's made into high fructose corn syrup, which is more sugar, which makes it so that we can have all these processed foods and sweet, good tasting foods, and foods that can sit in the shelf and have a long shelf life. So we're doing this to set up the consumer junk food culture. Government, Uncle Sam said, you know what? This is good for the American people. Unhealthy foods that make big profits for corporations that donate a lot in our coffers and allow us to advertise and stay in power and make sure nobody else gets up and has a say in government. You know, this is how it all works. So Uncle Sam goes out and spends all its money to push junk food, which all the studies show that creates all these different mental disorders. I used to work in a poor elementary school, public school in South Seattle, and I got to see the lunches that were packed for the children every single day. Fruit roll up and Cheetos, granola bar and Doritos. I mean, this is how over half my class was eating every day. Junk food and junk food. Two junk foods, three junk foods. Oh, maybe they got a Capri Sun in there full of sugar too. So Capri Sun, Cheetos, and fruit roll up. How are you supposed to focus when that's what's running through your body? You know? People don't think of their body like they do their car. They take care of their car, but like if there was a gas station where they're like, look at, you want at least 87 octane? Why pay all that money? We got 10 octane over here. Your car will die in a week. Who gives a shit? Our gas only costs 5 cents a gallon. Essentially, this is what's going on in America. Everyone's buying this food that doesn't have the nutrients to make their body run right, but it's so much cheaper. So, and it tastes so good. It just tastes so good. But yeah, America, our government, and it's going on throughout the world too. Where our culture's spreading all over. Again, that's because we were this big guinea pig experiment over here. They figured out how to do it with us, and then they spread it across the world. Essentially, everywhere is becoming America. But yeah, I mean, just stuff like this just shows what a joke it is. Why can't I get on CNN right now and have this conversation? Why can't we put up the stats? Hey, Anderson, can you put up the stat about how many fat asses died today from too many Cheetos? Look at that number. Just dwarfs coronavirus. And come on, Anderson, don't you think some of these deaths in the coronavirus, don't you think, they would have just gone down as normal flu deaths or pneumonia or all the things they go down as every year except for 2020, the year of the great pandemic? Anderson, what do you think about me? Do you think I'm the luckiest man in the world? I've been going around all year without a mask. I've flown on planes. I've gone to mass gatherings. Honestly, man, I used to be more of a germaphobe, but just to make a point this year, I've hardly been washing my hands. Which is true, you guys. I really have hardly washed my hands this year just to make a point. Like there is nothing going on, and my immune system is all the better for it. But yeah, I mean these are the real facts. Look up all the preventable death and illness in the U.S. Uh, let's see. How many people die a day from smoking? Let me just see. 480,000 deaths per year. So that would be more than 1,000 per day. And honestly, my grandmother died recently. She smoked her entire life. I mean, she was not healthy in any regard. The last time I visited her house, her cupboards were full of junk food, and she was very much an American. She lived to be 80 some years old. She rolled her own cigarettes. That was the one thing she did, though. She rolled her own cigarettes, so I don't think they were as deadly. It's these prepackaged cigarettes that are full of crap that I think is really the killing agent that people are smoking. I'm sure. I mean, when you smoke, your lungs they're raspy, and so I mean, smoking it's not all the way healthy, but I think there's some ways you can smoke that are healthier than others. But again, these are things that have been sanctioned by the government throughout time, and of course, in recent years they've tried to curb it. But yeah, to act like the government's here to help you and worried about your health, it's just an absolute joke. U.S. deadliest day of coronavirus doesn't even come anywhere near the average day from fat asses dying from shoving their mouth full of shit their whole life. So that's why